All right, Mr. Chairman, we can do a quick agenda
Yep.
review for the work session.
Sounds good, Josh.
All right. So for tonight, we have 6 items on the agenda. Number 1 is a 2-building commercial development on Overland Road. We would recommend that for the consent agenda. Item number 2 is a industrial building on Victory View Way. We recommend that for the consent agenda. Number 3, the new parking garage on the airport property. We would recommend. Number 4 is a modification of a previously approved multifamily development. We would also recommend that for the consent agenda. Number 5, new multifamily building on Denton, recommending that for the consent agenda. May have some public in attendance. We're not sure yet, so just kind of keep a close eye on that. And then number 6 on Fairview, a new multifamily building. We would propose that for the consent agenda as well. So
I have a minor.
Commitment Aguilar, can you turn on your microphone? Sorry.
I have a minor concern, and I don't know if I need to maybe recuse myself on this, but with regard to the parking garage at the airport,
Okay.
because I could not, I'm going to go to it here, see it clearly on this submittal package. And this could be totally at staff level, because you talk about it in your conditions of approval a little bit, but I'm just concerned about pedestrian access from the FBO, the Jet Center area,
Okay.
to that garage.
I would say if it's something that you weren't able to discern in the package and you do have a concern, I would recommend we discuss it in the hearing. Yeah. I mean, depending on how strongly.
Yeah,
you feel
let me
about it.
look at it again
Okay.
at the site plan.
Absolutely.
So item.
And then Josh, we just have, just for clarification with the council, we got a couple of those old minutes that we're going to be.
Good point, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
There are the minutes from last time that we weren't quite sure what to do with. And our recommendation, and those are those minutes from 2018 that were just never approved and forwarded to council as required. So our recommendation is that the motion is to forward those minutes to council, not that you are approving them, that you are forwarding them to council. So hopefully that helps with the comfort level on those.
Josh, with regard to the minutes, in the agenda, it says here they're the March 14th minutes. In the packet, it says there's a design review committee meeting of February 14th.
Interesting. Okay, let me look into that real fast.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Catch.
I think they are the March
and March. Oh, this is March and June. So this is consistent on the agenda and on this agenda,
but maybe not in the packet.
but in the overall packet,
Yeah, in the
consolidated packet.
right, the
Okay.
agenda just says March 14th, but the minutes included that we were to approve, or they say February 14th.
We're not approving them, we're just forwarding them.
Yeah, it'd be good to know if it's February.
Forwarding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the March 14th. I remember the last month.
Okay. I'll get that information so with the motion can be correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay, with no further concerns, we'll get started here in about 10 minutes.
Good. Thanks, Josh. All right, good evening. At this time, I'd like to call the December 14th, 2022 Design Review Committee to order. Christina, can you please call the roll?
Simple.
Here.
Gabala,
Here.
Rudin. Marsh,
Here.
Aguilar,
Here.
Zuckerman,
Here.
Erstad.
Here.
6 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. First order of business, I'd like to take a motion for the October 12th, 2022 minutes. If you could.
I move to approve the October, 12th, 2022 minutes.
So moved and seconded. Thank you. Mr. Erstad. Christina, will you please call the roll?
Aye.
DePaula,
Aye.
Rudine. Oops, absent. Marsh,
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Zuckerman,
Aye.
Erstad,
Next, we have a couple of items that we are looking for a motion to forward the following minutes to City Council. These are from March 14th, 2018, and Design Review Committee minutes from June 13th, 2018. So again, looking for a motion to forward those to City Council.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Erstad.
Second.
And thank you. So moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Christina, will you please call the roll?
Simple,
Aye.
DePaula,
Aye.
Marsh,
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Zuckerman,
Aye.
Erstad.
Aye.
All in favor, motion carries.
Next, we'll move on to the creation of our consent agenda. A couple items up for consideration on the consent agenda. The first is item number 1. Item number 1 is DRH 22-00394. Location is 10100 West Overland. It's for the construction of 2 new single-story multi-tenant commercial buildings totaling approximately 16,600 square feet with associated site improvements on a property in an R2D zone. Is the applicant present today? Please let the record show the applicant is present. Is the applicant in agreement with the recommended conditions of approval? Are you in agreement with the conditions in the staff report? Yes. Just let the record show that the applicant is in agreement. Is there any member of the public wishing to testify in opposition to this project? Is there any online, Josh?
Mr. Chairman, there is not.
So with that, we will have this moved on to the consent agenda. Next item to be considered for consent agenda is item number 2. It's DRH 22-00414, locations 2667 South Victory View Way. It's for the construction of a new approximately 33,700 square foot single story industrial building with associated site improvements on in a M1D zone. Excuse me. Is the applicant present tonight? Please let the record show the applicant is present. Are you in agreement with the recommended conditions of approval within the staff report? Please let the record show that the applicant is in agreement. Are there any members of the public wishing to testify in opposition to this item tonight? Is there any online? Oh, sorry, ma'am. Are you wishing to testify in opposition?
But I'm a neighboring property. I just want to know where the lights are going to be. Is that now?
Would we like to hear this item? Okay, we'll hear this item for tonight. So we can clarify that. Next item to be considered for our consent agenda is item number 4. It's DRH 22-00411. Location is 170 South 28th Street. It's to modify a previously approved multifamily project, increasing the unit count to 196 units in a C5D zone. Is the applicant present?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you in agreement with the conditions of approval within the staff report?
Yes, we are.
Thank you very much. Is there any member of the, any members of the public wishing to testify in opposition to this item tonight, either in person or virtually? Seeing none in person or virtually, we'll move this item to our consent agenda. And the next item to be considered is item number 5. It's DRH 22-00257. Location is 6160 West Denton Street for the construction of a new 5-story multifamily building with 201 residential units and structured parking in a property in an LODDA zone. Is the applicant present tonight?
Yes.
Please let the record show the applicant is present, and are you in agreement with the terms and conditions within the staff report?
Yes.
Please let the record show that the applicant is in agreement. Is there any member of the public wishing to testify in opposition to this, either in person or virtually? Seeing none in person, none virtually, we'll move this item over to the consent agenda as well. Final item to be considered for our consent agenda is item number 6. It's DRH 22-00409. Location is 2420 West Fairview Avenue. It's for the construction of a new 6-story mixed-use residential building with 88 residential units and a podium parking on a property in SC 5DD zone. Is the applicant present tonight? Please let the record show the applicant is present, and are you in agreement with the terms and conditions within the staff report? Please let the record show the applicant is in agreement. Are there any members of the public wishing to testify in opposition to this item, either in person or virtually? Seeing none in person, virtually, Josh? Seeing none, this will also be added to the consent agenda, and that concludes our items for tonight's consent agenda. And I would be open for a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to motion that the following items get moved to the consent agenda. DRH 22-00394. DRH 22-00411. DRH 22-00257. DRH 22-00409.
So moved. Thank you.
Second.
And seconded. Thank you, Mr. Stad. Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion at this point? Seeing none at this time, I would take a roll call. Christine, please.
Simple,
Aye.
Zabala,
Aye.
Marsh,
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Zuckerman,
Aye.
Erstad.
Aye.
All in favor, motion carries.
Great. Thank you all. First item on our regular to be heard tonight is item number 2. Oh, sorry, item number 3. Sorry. All right.
No, number 2.
Oh, number 2. And at this time, we would turn it over staff for their presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. This is DRH 22-00414. The subject parcel is in an area with a mixture of large lot residential, commercial, and light industrial uses, along with a school. The project area is at the northern half of the parcel. The owner DNA companies intend to build a second building approximately 33,750 square feet on the lot for their wood and metal door division. The building will be used as the office, fabrication, and warehouse facility for DNA door company. The staff has reviewed and analyzed the site design, landscape designs, and building designs. And we find that the proposed project complies with the city code findings. Therefore, we don't have any site-specific conditions. We recommend approval of DRH 22-00414. The light situation was not mentioned in the proposal, and we believe that it will be reviewed to the building permit. And we believe the city code does not allow any light shine upon adjacent neighborhood property.
Thank you very much. Questions for staff at all? Is the applicant present? Yes. Would you like to come up and say anything at this point, or do you want to hear what the public has? Okay. Well, at this time, we'll open it up to the public for questions. So, ma'am, if you'd like to come forward and state your name and please just state your name and address for the record. And
Candy Walker, 2576 South Maple Grove Road. So this building is on the east side of us. I just want to know if the lighting is all going to be facing eastward And what about the fencing in between us and them?
Okay, any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other members of public wishing to testify on this item? I don't think there's a member of the neighborhood association here either. Seeing none, I would turn it over for the applicant for, and if you would please just state your name and address for the record.
West Steel, Steel Architecture, PO Box 245, Eagle, Idaho. If we could put the site plan up for a moment, I believe. Yeah, so on the west side of the building and the south side of the building, so there will be no pole mounted parking lot lights proposed with the application. Only building mounted lights with a downward facing light fixture with cutoff lenses so that light will not leave the property as it's intended to by the city code. We have one at grade overhead door on the west side of the building, one overhead at grade door on the south side of the building. And there would be a light mounted above those doors to provide access and at dim times for the occupant. But that's all that will be facing the south and west sides. So if you put up the 3D of the building, I think the lights show on the 3D views if you have those. So where are we at here? I don't know if this will work if I shoot it at it. Does it work? Or just advance it? So the middle view is the one that predominantly faces west and then faces south. So I guess actually there's 5 proposed lights that, because there is a driveway on the west side, and then there's just the one over the overhead door on the west side. I believe the existing.
Excuse me, sir. Do you mind just, yeah.
I
there you
believe
go.
the lights
Thank
on
you.
the existing building is probably of the concern that you have, where I believe those face outward. And the lights in this case will be flat with just the light coming down. So there won't be an outward glow from this proposed project.
And I believe the previous question had something about the fencing as well.
I believe the intention is to put up a 6-foot high chain link fence on the property line potentially. Denise hasn't decided yet if that's truly, if she's going to go through with that or not. So she's definitely willing to talk to you any concerns that you guys have. So I had a meeting with her earlier this week, and so she was, I know they've been out of town a little bit, but yeah, she's more than willing to discuss that with you guys.
How's the best way to get a hold of her then? So go through you or go to them directly?
Just call them directly. So she's been traveling. They're back in town for a little bit. So she's been out.
When are you guys breaking ground? You know yet?
Late next spring, most likely. We've still got to get all of the production drawings done and through the city for building permits. So it'll be a while yet.
Okay. Thank you. Any other items, sir?
Not that I have, unless the members of the committee have any.
Any questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to add a point of clarification too. It looks like on the landscape plan, there's 10 trees along that western property boundary, along with some low shrubs as is required by code. So I feel like that probably helps mitigate a little bit of light at all, as well as helping screen visually there too. So just for the neighbors' benefit.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, with that, we'll close the public portion of the hearing here and bring it back to the committee for discussion and a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I would move to approve DRH 22-00414 as recommended in the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and the recommended conditions of approval noted in the project report.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Christine, please call the roll.
Simple.
Aye.
Gabala.
Aye.
Marsh.
Aye.
Aguilar.
Hi.
Zuckerman.
Aye.
Erstad.
Aye.
All in favor, motion carries.
Next item is item number 3, DRH 22-00338, 3201 West Airport Way. And I think there's some site questions. Caitlin, I'll turn it over to you when you're ready.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
could interject, I am going to recuse myself just due to some similarities of name attached to
Understood.
the application.
Thank you,
wanna-
Mr. Stead.
Keep this as clean as possible.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. So this is an application to construct a new parking facility on the airport property. So it's just a small portion of the airport property. This is the entire parcel. And then we're looking at this area just west of the public parking garage. So this is a phased project. So you can see phase 1 and phase 2 there. We have some site context drawings showing the buildings there now that will be removed. And then we have the new parking facility, and then the employee parking garage to the north is also under construction right now. I believe the committee wanted to discuss site connectivity and pedestrian connections. So if we zoom in here. So this is Rickenbacker Street here. It's like an internal drive on the airport property. So you can see the applicant is proposing a pedestrian connection from the terminal down to this customer kind of service area building here. And then that extends to the north. And then I believe they would anticipate some kind of crossing here on Rickenbacker Street. And I believe the new employee parking garage, I think there's existing sidewalk here, but I believe they're putting in a detached sidewalk here as well. And then staff did have a condition of approval for the applicant to demonstrate that the pedestrian connectivity makes sense and is safe in this area, just because there's a lot going on. So we would just ask that they come to us with some kind of plan that shows how they anticipate people to move through the site and to the adjacent sites. And with that, I can stand for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Questions at this point for staff at all? None? Great, and thanks. If the applicant would mind, please come forward, and if you wouldn't mind, please state your name and address for the record.
Mike Miller with HDR Engineering, 125 Evans Avenue, San Antonio, Texas.
And I believe there's a couple of questions for the applicant.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I support this project 100%. I just have a couple concerns about the pedestrian access. And also, let me just qualify myself. I do work for Jackson's companies. That Jackson Jet Center is a sister company to that, but I'm not representing Jackson's on the question that I have. And it's just more of, I would like to see some pedestrian access in front of the QTA building, connecting to the rest of the access somehow in some fashion for the employee garage, because there are people who come from the old FAA building and the Jet Center and walk over to the terminal to fly commercial. And then sometimes they fly from the FBO, either land or arrive or depart from there and have to go the commercial side to the terminal to get a connecting flight. So if we could just have some more pedestrian pathway in front of the QTA building. I'm not at all suggesting that it be extended further beyond that to the west.
Yes, ma'am. As part of the CUP, this was a specific issue the planner brought up, and we'd addressed and discussed with them, and similar question. And so what we are talking to them about, and as stated tonight, we'll continue to develop that. But based on the function of this facility, there's a lot of vehicles coming and going on the south side of Rickenbacker. So our intent on phase 1 is to transition that traffic at Luke across to the existing sidewalk to the north of Rickenbacker. Again, you've got visiting traffic coming and going there, and then Also, during phase one, you'll have a lot more, you'll still continue to have the vehicle traffic from the rental car agencies that'll move vehicles to and from that site. So there'll be a lot of vehicle movement there. So in those discussions, our intent was to keep that traffic to the north to minimize the intersection of pedestrian and vehicle traffic to the greatest extent possible. And then that concept would be continued in front of the QTA for the exact same reasons, in the fact that there'll be shuttler traffic and service support traffic on that south side. And we can continue to have those discussions, but in discussion with the airport as the owner, they've stated they'd want us to maintain that safe pedestrian traffic and keep that flow down Rickenbacker into the terminal itself.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any members of the public wishing to testify on this item tonight? Seeing none in person. Are there any online, Josh? None. Applicant, any other last statements? No. With that, we'll close that portion of the public portion of the hearing, bring it back to the committee for a motion and discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would move for approval of DRH 20-00472 as recommended in the findings of fact and the conclusions of law and the recommended conditions of approval noted in the staff project report.
The clarifications, that's DRH 22-00338. There we go.
Mr. Chair, look, there's a discrepancy. It looks like on the staff report where the text for the recommendation is different than that application.
Okay.
number.
Good catch.
Thanks.
Yeah, that I would revise the design review number to DRH 22-00338.
Great. So moved.
Second.
And thank you for the second.
Mr. Chair,
Zuckerman.
who was the second on that?
Ms. Zuckerman. Any more discussion on the motion from the committee? Seeing none. With that, Christina, will you please call the roll?
Simple,
Aye.
Zabala,
Aye.
Marsh,
Aye.
Aguilar,
Aye.
Zuckerman,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
Great. Thank you very much. That concludes our hearing for tonight. And we are adjourned. Thank you.